Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor, and I'm going to be your webinar host today. Every month, we do discuss a new Inventory Smart topic. So if you guys have any ideas, please don't hesitate to reach out to me via my phone line or my email. So today we're going to be going over when an item export is useful and what an item export is. And I wanted to discuss this topic as a reminder that if you are changing any of your item information in bulk, which is usually 30 or more items, depending on what you're trying to change, you should ask your Inventory Smart team for an item export, which looks like this example here on the screen. So if you're looking to change items in bulk, go ahead and ask for this item export, and I will send this off to you. And if you'd like to export your item information on your own, you actually can do this on the admin site, which I will show you quickly. But please know that this spreadsheet that you can download from your admin site is used as a reference for what you change. But anything that you change on that export will not be reflected on your account. And you will not be able to import this information. That will be done by your Inventory Smart team. So when you request an item export, me or somebody from your Inventory Smart team will send you this spreadsheet. And how we got this information is I log on to the admin site, I go to the items tab, and from here there is a tab called export. And you can filter out the information that you'd like to export by department or stockroom inventory category or inspection list category. And you can either view this, which will come up in a separate browser, or you can go ahead and download it to an Excel format. And this is what it will look like. All of your item information. And what your Inventory Smart team does is copy this information and paste it to a nicer looking spreadsheet like so, where then I will send this to you and you will go ahead and update that information. So today I wanted to briefly go over each of these columns on an item export and the most common fields that can be changed on this and some fields that I would recommend doing manually rather than using the item export. So beginning with this ID column, it is highlighted in red because we never want to make changes to our ID number because this is how we match your information to the correct item. And then we have our name and vendor column. And these are some of the most common aspects that people change on an item export. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you would like to update the name of an item, you can do so here. And if you would like to update the vendor, you can also do that on this. Then we have our stockroom inventory categories, and we do recommend changing this on your admin site manually rather than using the item export. And this is because we're unable to import your information or your items if the stock rooms and the stockroom inventory categories don't match exactly to what's already on your admin site. So if you would like to add or change a stockroom, you're going to want to do this on the admin site and know that if you're changing or adding many stockrooms or stockroom inventory categories, go ahead and let your Inventory Smart team know that, and we will come up with a new process for you. But for just changing one or two stockroom inventory categories, I would do that on the admin site. And to do that, you will log on to the admin site. You're going to go to that Stockrooms tab. And if you wanted to update the name of the stockroom, you may do so here and hit save. If you would like to add a new stockroom, we'll go ahead and do a quick example. You can click new, type in the name, update any visible information, go ahead and hit save. And if you had an already existing stockroom inventory category with similar items, you can just copy that over, which is a super easy step, which you will do by going to the stockroom inventory categories tab, clicking on the category that's most similar or whatever category has those items you'd like to copy into that new stockroom. And from here, we'll use this drop down to find our new stockroom. And then we're going to hit this copy to. And what that does is it will copy all of these items within this existing category to your new stockroom. All right. Now back to our item export, we now have this inspection list category column. This field is not required, but if you would like to create inspection lists, you may put them here. And then we have our departments. You may assign items to a department, but keep in mind if you choose to assign items to, let's say, housekeeping or engineering, those users will only be able to see, let's say, housekeeping items or engineering items. So know that departments do create some limited visibility on your account. So keep that in mind when assigning departments. And then we have our UPC barcode. Scroll over. This is where you'll enter your 12-digit barcode number if you are using our scanning capabilities. And we do recommend using the red laser scanner to scan those barcodes. Then we have our vendor item number. If you're planning on integrating with the vendor, such as HD Supply or SkiNC, you need to have this category filled out. So if it's blank, it will not be able to integrate. And then we have our vendor unit of measure, and I'm also going to talk about our stockroom unit of measure. So your vendor unit of measure is how you order from the vendor. This is not to be confused with your stockroom unit of measure, which is how you inventory within your stockrooms. So I would like to note that unit of measure should be used on this export mostly for a reference. I would not recommend changing this on an export or in bulk because this pretty much redefines what you're inventorying. So be careful when updating this information because it will update all those quantities associated with the item. All right, and then we have our internal item number. And this can be used as a way to organize the order of your account. And the description will show up on your account below the item name. Now we're on to our stockroom minimum on hand. So this is the minimum amount you wish to be kept throughout all of your stock rooms. So this is all of your stock rooms combined. And once you reach the minimum you have set, the system will then prompt you to order more from the vendor. So I would recommend using this tool, and this is commonly updated on an item export as well. All right, then we have our reorder quantity. And this will prompt you to order a certain amount from the vendor once you dip below that stockroom minimum on hand. Then we have our belongs to field, and this can be used for items that belong to another item. So for example, you may have a knife block and you can assign each individual knife to the block. And this is also that if one knife breaks from that knife block, you won't have to order that entire knife set. You can just individually order that one broken knife. All right, and then we have our replaced by field. This is if an item will be replaced by another item in the system, you can enter that item name here. And then finally, we'll discuss this item GL code, which is if you want to associate an item GL code, go ahead and just enter that information as follows, just like you would that barcode. And that concludes our item export webinar. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your Inventory Smart team via email or via our phone lines. And know that this webinar will be available to you on the admin site under your help tab if you scroll down and find that webinars section. Thank you.